Let's talk about a job that keeps this country moving. I'm talking about trucking. For decades, the American semi-truck was an icon, a symbol of freedom and hard work rolling down the highway. These weren't just vehicles, they were statements. When you picture one of these classic rigs, you probably see a massive square front grille. It looked like it could punch a hole through the wind itself. And the chrome, my goodness, the chrome was everywhere. From the towering exhaust stacks reaching for the sky to the sun-reflecting bumper, these trucks were designed to be seen. They had a certain look, a certain presence that screamed power and durability, and drivers took immense pride in keeping them polished and gleaming. The design of these older trucks was straightforward and tough. The hood was long and flat, and the cab sat high and mighty, giving the driver a commanding view of the road. Everything was built with heavy-duty steel and metal. The shape was boxy, almost like a brick on wheels, because function was valued over anything else. The main goal was to haul heavy loads over long distances, and these trucks were built like tanks to do just that. They weren't concerned with things like wind resistance. They were built to muscle their way through any challenge, and their appearance reflected that no-nonsense, get-the-job-done attitude that built this country. The people who drove these machines were a special breed. They were kings of the road, and their trucks were their castles. A trucker's rig was a personal statement, often customized with extra lights, unique paint jobs, and of course, more chrome. Polishing that chrome wasn't just a chore, it was a ritual. It showed pride in your work and your equipment. The square, imposing shape became synonymous with the American trucking industry. It was a look that was respected and frankly a little intimidating when you saw it filling up your rearview mirror. It was a rolling piece of heavy metal art, built for a hard day's work. This classic design served its purpose for a very long time. The engines were powerful, the frames were strong, and they got the goods from point A to point B, day in and day out. Nobody really thought about how the air moved around the truck. The focus was on reliability and raw power. If you needed to get a massive load of steel or produce across the country, this was the tool for the job. It was a simple, powerful machine for a simple, powerful task. But as the world changed, and as people started looking at the bottom line a little more closely, the design of these magnificent beasts was destined to change with it. Then, something started to shift. It wasn't a sudden revolution, but a slow and steady evolution driven by a simple, undeniable force: the price of fuel. Trucking companies operate on tight margins, and fuel is one of their biggest expenses. Someone, somewhere, did the math and realized that pushing a giant metal brick through the air at 70 miles per hour, 130 kilometers, takes a whole lot of energy. This resistance, called aerodynamic drag, was like a constant headwind fighting against the engine. Every bit of that fight cost money in the form of burned diesel. So, the big question became, how can we make these trucks slice through the air instead of bulldozing it? The answer came from looking at airplanes and race cars. Engineers started to round off the sharp corners of the truck. That big flat front grille was replaced with a sloped curved hood. The mirrors were redesigned to be more streamlined. They even added side skirts along the trailer to keep the air from getting trapped underneath. Most of the aerodynamic semi-trucks have rear tire covers on the back wheels for more aerodynamic on the American highway system. Each of these changes, big and small, was designed to do one thing: reduce drag. By helping the airflow smoothly over and around the truck, the engine didn't have to work as hard to maintain highway speed. It's a simple concept really, but it has a massive impact when you're driving thousands of miles every week. This shift wasn't just about a new look, it was about survival in a competitive industry. A small improvement in fuel efficiency, maybe just 1 or 2 miles per gallon, can save a trucking company thousands of dollars per truck every single year. When you multiply that by a whole fleet of trucks, the savings are astronomical. This is why you see modern trucks with their smooth lines and curved surfaces. They aren't just trying to look futuristic. They are highly engineered machines designed for maximum efficiency. The age of pure muscle was giving way to the age of smart engineering, where working with the wind was better than fighting it. For the driver, this meant a quieter and sometimes more stable ride. Less wind resistance means less wind noise battering the cab all day long, but the biggest change was at the fuel pump. A driver who could go farther on a single tank of fuel was more productive and more profitable. Trucking is a tough business, and any advantage helps. The move to aerodynamic designs wasn't about abandoning the classic look for fashion's sake. It was a practical, necessary step forward, driven by the cold, hard reality of business expenses and the relentless pursuit of doing the job a little bit better and a little bit cheaper. With this new focus on aerodynamics, the materials used to build trucks also started to change. That iconic heavy chrome bumper, for instance, began to be replaced. On many new trucks, you'll find bumpers and front-end components made from durable, lightweight plastics and composite materials. This might sound like a downgrade, but it's actually a clever piece of engineering. These materials can be easily molded into complex, curved shapes that help guide the air smoothly around the front of the truck. A big flat wall of chrome just can't do that. The plastic is also lighter, which contributes to better fuel economy in its own small way. Now don't get me wrong, chrome hasn't disappeared entirely. A lot of truckers still love that classic shine, and you can absolutely order a new truck with a big, beautiful chrome bumper. It's a nod to tradition, and a way for drivers to personalize their rigs. Some argue it offers better protection in a minor collision. But for large fleets focused purely on efficiency, the molded aerodynamic bumpers are often the standard choice. It's a perfect example of the balance between modern efficiency and timeless style. The choice is there, allowing companies and independent operators to pick what works best for their business and their sense of pride. Another major update you'll see on modern rigs is the addition of cameras. Big trucks have big blind spots. It's one of the toughest parts of the job. To make things safer, many new trucks have small cameras mounted on the mirrors, the grille, and even the rear. These cameras feed video to screens inside the cab, giving the driver a 360-degree view of what's happening around them. This is a huge leap forward for safety, helping to prevent accidents during lane changes or when backing into a tight loading dock. It's a simple piece of technology that makes a dirty, dangerous job just a little bit safer for everyone on the road. The rounded front end is another key feature you can't miss. The entire hood of a modern truck is designed to be a single flowing surface. This design, combined with the sloped windshield, helps to minimize wind resistance from every angle. It's a far cry from the old design, which was essentially a collection of flat panels bolted together. Every curve on a new truck has a purpose. It's all part of a system working together to cheat the wind, save fuel, and make the truck more stable at high speeds. It's a smarter, more sophisticated approach to building a machine that has to work hard every single day. Despite all these aerodynamic changes, one thing has remained fundamentally the same in American trucks: the long nose. The engine is still right there at the front of the truck, under that big hood. This is different from many European trucks, which have a flat front cab-over design. Keeping the engine out front makes it much easier for mechanics to access it for maintenance and repairs. When your livelihood depends on your truck running, easy access for a quick fix is a huge advantage. So, while the hood is now sloped and curved, it's still there, housing the powerful heart of the machine just like it always has. And what about life on the road? The sleeper cab is another feature that has stuck around and gotten even better. For a long-haul trucker, the cab is their office, their kitchen, and their bedroom all in one. Modern sleeper cabs are more spacious and comfortable than ever before. They often come equipped with a comfortable bed, a small refrigerator, a microwave, and plenty of storage space. They are designed to be a home away from home because that's exactly what they are. This part of the truck hasn't been sacrificed for aerodynamics. If anything, it's become an even more important part of the overall design, ensuring the driver is well rested and ready for the job. So what does this all add up to? The evolution from the classic chrome-covered rigs to the sleek aerodynamic trucks of today is a story of practical innovation. It's not about losing character, it's about adapting to stay competitive. These changes directly help truckers and the companies they work for by lowering the single biggest operating cost, fuel. A more efficient truck means more money in the pockets of the people doing the hard work. The added safety features like cameras make a demanding job less stressful and protect everyone on the highway. It's a win-win situation. In the end, the American semi-truck is still the undisputed king of the road. It just looks a little different now. It's a smarter, sleeker, and more efficient king. The core of the job, hauling the goods that keep our country running, hasn't changed at all. The trucks have simply evolved to do that job better. They prove that you can respect tradition while still embracing the kind of common sense changes that make a tough job a little bit easier. And that's something worth appreciating every time you see one of these modern workhorses rolling down the interstate.